Welcome back. We're here at New London Hospital, and joining me now is the host of Live and Local in the Morning on WNTK, Keith Hanson. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We've enjoyed listening to you. You've been here, it's been a year, just about.
Coming up, yeah, it was the last week in September that I joined WNTK and WUVR.
Good. How did you make the voyage up here?
Actually spent the summer up here. Last year I was on Newfound Lake for the summer.
Oh, beautiful.
And I am I'm a networking opportunist.
Okay.
So just with networking, wound up meeting a couple of people who knew some people at WNTK and WUVR. Mm-hmm. They were looking for a morning host. So actually I had come back up. I'd returned to Florida for the winter and had a wedding to come up to and scheduled an interview with the radio station. And then also at the same time too, because of networking opportunities, I was introduced to a juvenile rehabilitation facility. Mm-hmm. So came up, interviewed with them, had 2 interviews in 2 days, and had 2 job offers 2 days later.
Hey, you should have bought a lottery ticket that day.
So something wanted me back in New England.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Florida for 10 years, but New England born and raised. So it's kind of a homecoming of sorts.
Welcome back. Yeah, it's terrific.
Good to be here.
Terrific. How did you get into radio in the first place?
Completely by accident. I had opened a gun range in Southwest Florida and wound up having to do some battles with the county commissioners. Mm-hmm. A local radio host down there heard about the fight that I was putting up with the county commissioners and said, love to have you come on as a guest and talk a little bit more about this. It was a Second Amendment issue. So wound up going on his show and did pretty well.
You have a great voice. You really do have a super voice. Yeah. So much so that he had asked me a couple of weeks later, he said, I'm going on vacation. I need a guest host. Would you like to guest host my show? He had a 1-hour show. And I remember thinking to myself, guest host a radio show? Would I? I get to talk. For an hour.
For an hour, which I love to do. And so then the reality of it set in. It's like, wow, I'm going to have to talk about politics and hot button issues and sound intelligent doing it. I said, you know what, I'm up for the challenge. So I did it. It went very, very well. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was asked to guest host for him several additional times. And then from there, I wound up getting a call from the owner of the radio station saying, would you like your own show? Because we have an opening and, we've gotten some positive feedback from you.
Nice.
So I started off at 98.9 WGUF in Naples, and then from there went to 96 K-Rock in Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm. Great.
And 2 years in Florida down there broadcasting, and now WNTK and WUVR in New London.
We're lucky to have you. That's great. Media seems like it's important to you. Talk a little bit about that.
I think it is. For me, it's a sounding block. It's an opportunity to talk about things that I'm passionate about. Certainly, state and national political issues, social issues as well. Yeah. And I think also, too, showcasing the best of what the Dartmouth-Sunapee region has to offer. And that's what's special about Live and Local in the Morning, is that we talk about the national issues, we talk about the state issues, but we're also focusing on, again, what makes this area such a great place to live.
Mm-hmm. I think so. You weave everything in really well. I think that's terrific. You and Dave do a great job.
Thank you. Well, it's a labor of love. Yes, it's a job, but I think the quality of the show reflects the passion that I and certainly my co-host Dave that we approach the program with.
Super. Well, great. What's been your favorite thing since you've been back?
Love to hike. Mm-hmm. Love to actually run instead of hiking the mountains, running the mountains.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's a good physical challenge.
Absolutely.
But again, having been in Florida for 10 years, it's really nice to be back in an area where we have seasons. So there's winter sports, there's spring sports, there's summer sports, and this area just has so much to offer.
Yeah.
Hiking, boating, skiing. It's fantastic.
Super.
There's always something to do. There's a lot of activities.
Absolutely.
And there's a real sense of community up here, which I think is one of the real special things, that when you move to other areas of the country, sometimes you'll lose touch with that.
Interesting. Okay, well, with you being the head of a talk show now, you're a big part of the community. So thanks so much for helping get our nonprofits exposed and talking a lot about the news stories and national items of the day. So thanks.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you very much.
Take care.